I want to support you because I think that, you know, he saw the injustices I was subject to also within Freemasons. So he said, okay, Leo, we open Illuminati Confession at web, which is illuminaticonfessions.webfriend.it, which is still in existence, and we go on with your revelations. Not even 24 hours after they shut down my Squarespace account, the police came through the door of my house with two policemen and two social workers to take my kids. I was living in the center of Oslo at the time. My wife was in the house. They probably thought I was alone, so they broke in. But when they saw that my wife was there, they said, okay, bring it to the other room, we want to bring it to the other room. I said, what do you want to do to me? Only because I have a website you want to arrest me? Am I not free to do what I want? I said, my dear friends, in the last 24 hours I transferred my website to Italy. I said, if you now arrest me, kill me, do whatever I want, the website is going to stay alive. It's now on the net. There is no way you can shut it down. But the police said, if you continue with this website, we can, you know, have your kids taken from you and you have to come down with this stuff. How dares the police of Norway? And I said once again to the camera and to the people of Norway, shame on you. Come to my door, come to my house, threaten me to take my kids because they can't take the truth upon Per Christian Kroc, ex-secretary of the Ministry of Defense, who I saw in open lodge worshipping the Book of the Dead and the Steel of Revealing of Aleister Crowley, dressed in a black cloak. I saw Trond Kare Westby, the head of the Defense Command in Norway, in their lodges and also in Masonic lodges where I met him. And this guy is the head of the Defense Command in Norway of the medical staff. I will show you after his cut.
So you got away because you went public. Is this correct?
I went public, and even at the beginning they threatened me. At that point, after I said to them, listen, even if you threaten me now, I said openly to the policemen, and also my wife went to the social workers because we had to go to the social workers after, otherwise they would take her kids. Said very clearly, my husband is not going to stop with what he's doing. He will carry on. If this is a free country, he has to do this and he has to be able to do this. Mm-hmm. At that point, they couldn't arrest me anymore like before or put me and torture me for hours and do whatever. Because at that point, I would go immediately on the net. As soon as I was out, put everything, and finally I had an audience.
Right.
Obviously, the problem was, who was my audience? The problem was that my audience obviously maybe was not judged as serious by many people because the alternative media sometimes is not judged as serious. Mm-hmm. But for me, at least, it was a mean to spread my information and to be able to protect myself. And they took this very seriously. In fact, what happened 2 weeks later, I was invited to Livorno, on 21st of December, to a P2 lodge in Livorno. I have pictures of that meeting also, by their Grand Master there, asking me, all in a nice kind way, offer me nice dinner, to please stop with those revelations.
Oh, really?
But the guy who asked me, Grandmaster Mauro Lazzari and Luigi Piazza, because I refused, they were punished themselves. And in June, just now, 2007, the police raided their headquarters of the Masonic orders. There is this documentation in Livorno, and it was the biggest scandal since the P2, because it's connected also to the Christian Democratic Party, because their lodge, where I was meeting, was the headquarters of the Christian Democratic Party, UDC, of Cesar, which is the party close to the Vatican. So obviously you don't need to be a genius to link 1 + 1 is 2, you know. You have a Masonic lodge in the headquarters of the Christian Democratic Party. These people, the Christian Democratic Party, has been working with the NSA, the CIA for 50 years in the Gladio secret operation. These people, Balestieri, Ezio Giunchiglia, these people all belong to Gladio. Gladio is a secret operation against communism that has been very important because 9/11 has been the same kind of operation that the Italians have seen over and over again in the strategic years of tension, we call them, in the 70s, when we had the killings of the station of Bologna, of Piazza Fontana. All these killings were organized by so-called deviant secret services apparatus. Nobody understood ever. It was maybe the Red Brigades, there was the Russians.
So who was it?
It was the Americans and the Vatican. You know, who was it? Doing it on themselves. Gladio was an operation in which
And so was 9/11 also the Americans and the Vatican?
Absolutely, and the Zionists. And the Mossad. The Mossad was very important in this. In fact,
Sure.
and also the.
So is the idea to create a basically?
They reflect a prophecy, because in the Zohar, at a specific point of the Zohar, is written that in the city of the big tower, in the specific date, the 21st date, I think, of Elul, of the Jewish calendar, that was the 11th of September, boom, there will be this disaster, the tower will fall down. It's written in the Zohar. Zohar, for the Kabbalists, is the most holy text for the Jewish Kabbalists. So, they read, knock their heads on the wall, and reflect what is there. Now, as we have the Mossad, the Zionist element, the Jewish occult element, which is very important because the Kabbalah is born out of them, but born originally where? From Egypt. And the same happened with because we don't have to see only Christianity or Catholicism as coming only from Judaism. No, that's very wrong. We have to see Christianity as coming from a mix of pagan religions that the Emperor Constantine put together, including the cult of Isis, of Osiris, of Mithras, of all these.
But this was from Atlantis, was it not?
All originally from Atlantis, but Atlantis and many other Atlantis civilizations before that, because the thing is that we have only knowledge about maybe one ancient civilization before ourselves, but there is many others that have been eliminated and we know nothing about it.
Mm-hmm. Leo, I want to ask you, do the Masons or the Illuminati have ancient texts coming directly from Atlantis? Do they have information about this?
Now, this is the legend that really managed to throw they managed to throw the Hitler Churchill with this kind of thing. So it's quite interesting. You know, the Book of Thoth or some kind of tablets, ancient tablets that come from Atlantis, were supposed to be hidden in the pyramids, hidden there, hidden. There is definitely stuff that comes from ancient times. And there is specific groups within the Illuminati, like for example the Gruppo di Tebes, group of Thebes, which is a specific group within the Illuminati which takes care only of the ancient artifacts. And
these must be in the Vatican. They're in the Vatican Library, are they not?
In the Vatican Library, and we have a lot of ancient artifacts, ancient books, very rare texts that could revolutionize the thought of mankind. But as I said, because we will have to go to the next stage of existence. In one way or another, the Vatican wants to adapt. So how they adapt? They adapt with Corrado Balducci and the whole alien revolution coming into the Vatican, Secretum Omega and a couple of UFOs, and everybody's happy. Because the next step of brainwashing is to have you believe that Jesus is some kind of Prince of Sirius that comes on this planet as a high priest and is himself an alien being or some kind of alien high priest. From Sirius. Sirius is very important. We don't have to joke with Sirius. We don't, because Sirius is Sirius in every way, and it says, the word says it. It's in the universal apparatus the eye of God. So, you know, you have a bunch of sheep, which are stars. Watch. Shepherd, and then you have a dog. Now, the dog star is Sirius, is the dog of this, you know, you have a lot of stars running around, but they're sheep. And then you have a shepherd, and you have a shepherd's dog. Yeah? So this is how it works in the universe. Now we should go back to reacquire in modern times the concept of analogy, of not logic, but analogy. Why? Because logic is actually created by mankind. It was created by mankind at the time of ancient Greece, and then filtered through our civilization through to us. But in ancient times, analogic was equally as important. So by rediscovering the analogic method, the parallels between the fact that everything in the universe works as a mirror, as a reflection of the one Big Bang, the first, and then everything else is a reflection. So there is a constant loop of this reflection in many different forms.